So GPO is becoming free on Saturday. So I'm going to make a starter guide with all the info that a new player would need. So welcome to the starter guide. Hopefully this will be the best guide in terms of getting your account from 0 to max, a location for every spot that you would need for leveling, any fighting style you might want to learn, and all the hockey that you might want to learn. This is not going to be for like, oh, how to get like certain things like fruits or boss drops or whatever. This guide is mainly going to be strictly on leveling, and again, the other two that I listed before. Okay, I'd encourage you play with a friend because the experience is a lot better with a friend. To start off though, do not worry about getting a fruit till mid game to late game. Fruits are insanely hard to get in this game. I think it was an attempt to emulate the actual series. Getting a fruit is hard, so don't worry about getting fruits. And if someone's offering you a fruit, do not take anything that is common. A rare is fine. You can, if you try to beg for a rare, if you really want a fruit that bad, you can go into trade lobbies and try to beg for rare. But commons, do not eat commons. Commons are awful. If someone gives you something called a kilo, a suke, or a spin, do not eat these fruits. They're all bad. They can't help you in grinding at all. And they'll basically force you to drown. So if you're using like a sword, if you're a sword user, do not eat a fruit basically until you're able to get Geppo later on. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, you'll have to be forced to spend Robux to attempt to remove the fruit. So again, do not take fruits that random people give you unless it's a rare. So again, the 3 fruits are kilo, suke, and spin. Do not eat these fruits. I'm begging you, because I guarantee you there's going to be people trying to grief you to force you to eat one of these fruits. If they're forcing you to eat those fruits, just leave. Do not eat these fruits. You're wasting your Robux. But later on, I will release a fruit guide for fruitless players. Later in this week, we'll see when. Probably next weekish. So check the channel out. If we have that, I'll put a link in the description or anything. For that, for right now, again, to start when the game goes free, don't try to focus on getting a fruit. Again, you could beg for one, but again, I discourage it. And secondly, do not worry about fighting bosses at all until later game. I'm also going to put out another guide on the best gear in the update, so you can check that out and see what you're really trying to work for and alternatives that you might want, because a lot of these things are event exclusives, so you won't be able to have them unless you start trading the copious amounts of fruits, which again you won't be able to get unless you have fruits. So again, don't worry about fighting bosses unless you have your friends and you all have fighting styles. You could attempt to do lower end bosses with like a group of 4 or 5 or something. But if you don't have a lot of friends, don't worry about it. Boss drops early on aren't that important at all. You're not that much better, or your stats don't get that much better for having them. So again, don't worry about it. Again, later on you can start farming gear and see what you need. Later on I'll show the exact location for Armament Haki, but the requirement for Armament Haki is 90. So if you have friends, try to all get Haki really early on. The level requirement is 90 and you need like 25k Pelly. I think I'll see you later on. I know that the requirement is 90, but yeah, you want to get it as early as possible because you need to train it. So you'd have to not spam it, but like use the Haki itself to train it up. So I'd encourage you to get it early if you can. The challenge to get it is very hard, but if you have your friends, you should be fine. Again, try to get it as early as possible. I'd encourage you to get a fighting style with Geppo early on, so something like Blackleg. It's probably easily the best option since it has a farming move. Or alternatively, you can try to buy Geppo for 50k. The location to Geppo will be in the fighting style section with Diable Jambe, so scroll to it if you need to figure out where it is. Any location that I list on here that you're like, oh, how did I get to this line to begin with? All listed on the timestamps of each map. So every single island that you can go to, you can find whatever you want, whatever like fighting style you're looking for from there. So there's no like island that you need to like randomly find, like that I haven't shown you. There are a ton of other islands you won't be going to in the list that I'm going to show you. So you can explore it with yourself and your friends. There's a bunch of islands you'll probably end up finding randomly. But I would encourage you get Geppo if you are using 1 sword style or 2 sword style, any of the sword styles, because they don't have access to Geppo. Regardless, you probably should get Geppo, even if you have a Geppo build, in case you want to switch your fighting style. So, you know, I'd encourage that early on. Again, it's 50k pellet, so it's pretty expensive early on. But again, if you can get it by begging or just grinding a good amount, try. Because it makes your life a lot better by having it. Oh, and also before I start the leveling route, the wiki that I got a lot of my information from will be in the description. It's the GPO wiki. Again, if there's any information you need to use, I'll be there. And also put up a map right now in case you need to figure out where things are. Again, you can see also locations that you haven't been to or are not going to be shown in this video. So again, if you need to, consult the map for any information you might want to use. Before I start the leveling process, here's a couple items you want to pick up. The first one's going to be the gun. The gun is really good. It's able to aggro mobs from far range, so you can put them in one spot, so then you can use one of the various farming moves that you have, whatever fighting style you chose, or fruit. So you can just kill them all at once, making the grinding a lot faster, so you don't have to rely on just winning the mobs constantly. On top of buying the gun here, you can also get the first ship that you'll have. Right here is the rowboat. It's 75. Let's say you get to Sandora from here. And also the caravel. This is the second, basically, free-to-play boat in the game. It's not that fast, but it's better than the rowboat. It's decent. There's some cannonballs and stuff here, but they're not useful at all. There's this Adenda and Mushi here, and what I would highly encourage you buy with whatever boat you decide to choose, again, is the hammer, so you can repair the boat, because your boat does take damage. If you're playing with a group of friends, you can click down here at the P, and then drop some peli, so you and your friends can all come together to buy a single ship. Well, at Shellstown, of course, you can buy the Eternal Boast, but what really matters here is that there is a galleon. This is basically the best boat you'll get the entire game, unless you want to buy one of the Robux boats. Currently, hold on. Currently, the only boat that's cheap and maybe a little bit worth it is the Thrill Ship, but I wouldn't buy it anyway. It's 800 Robux. But yeah, this is basically the best ship because it's 75 speed for a free play. And also you get a hammer here if you didn't buy it previously. But yeah, this is probably where the best boat at. Again, you can drop money, try to get this boat. But yeah, this is your best shot for your best boat. For the leveling route, you obviously start at a ton of beginnings, or island of beginnings, my fault. From 1 to 15, just fool around, try to get some XP. Again, only need to be here until level 15. From here, it's gonna be a little bit of a grind, only because you don't have access to like a fighting style or fruit that could get you to kill a group of mobs easier. But you can make do with this, especially if you have friends early on. Also, you get like your first boss drop here. So it's an eye patch. You can equip it. Press M, and then use your equip again. M, your entire menu wheel. You can use your stats there, your stuff there. Also, there's a party thing at the bottom right, or I think it's the bottom right or left. So if you have friends, invite them to a party so you don't accidentally hit each other. Should have mentioned that earlier, but I'll mention it now, since I mean this is the beginning. So it's just some stuff in case you're playing with your friends. But if you don't, it doesn't really matter to you. Next place to go to is Sandora. There's an NPC from left to the dock that gives you a quest that directs you directly to Sandora. So I would just take the quest there and do it. When you head over to Sandora, it's like a straight shot there. There's going to be like a specific quest in front of a small little incline. Go up there and you just beat up all those bandits up there. The guy's giving you a quest right there. Gives the most XP. From there, there's a NPC, I think there. You'll talk to, it'll be in the footage. You go there, you talk to him, and he'll direct you directly to Shellstown, which is the next area you're going to level. Again, you can look at the footage in case you need to figure out where you need to direct yourself properly, or where you need to angle yourself to figure out where you need to go next, on all the footage that I'm showing you. So if you need a guide as to how to get there properly, just, you know, it's in the video. You go back to it if you ever need it. But yeah, next is Shellstown. You go there from 25 to 40. I'm pretty sure you farm up the bandits at the front of the stairs. There'll be a quest right in front of you. You level up until I think 30 or 35, somewhere around there. I think it's around 30. Then you head to the back of the island and you farm there until I think level 30. There's a cliff at the top that you can again camp at. You again you could probably get a fighting style by now, and you can use that money and skill points that you've gotten to get like a farming move from one of the 2 fighting styles that I encourage you getting. Again, use the cliff, use the gun that you got, and aggro them, and you should be able to take them out quite easily. If not, if you don't have a fighting style yet, just again with a group of friends, you could just kind of take it on easily. But moving on to the end of the island. At the end of the island, there's another mission that you could do. I think you can start doing the mission around 30, 35. You can go check when you go to the back of the island. But yeah, you just do the mission. It's just a simple one. You get up on a roof. You can climb. Just use control, press control, and you can climb up on a wall. Get up on a roof and just use your gun to kill the bandits that are there. It's quite simple. And then from Shellstown, you go to the Baratie. The Baratie, you stay there from level 40 to 105, or alternatively 40 to 160. Depends on if you have a good way to take out the mobs like instantly, and like aka have a private server or something, because again a lot of people are gonna be in here. So yeah, I would encourage you stay there till 105 at minimum. If you want to explore more, again, next area will be the area that I tell you to go to. But yeah, from there, you just kind of first set your spawn up at the top. Again, this is also the place where you can get black leg, in case you were wondering. And you just kind of kill the mobs to the wall by aggroing them. They're just eventually aggro to you no matter what. So yeah, don't get near the front door because they will berate you and you probably will die. It's kind of obnoxious in there. So just stay outside the walls, hit them with like a AoE move, and you should be okay. Up until 105. And if you don't want to stay here until 160, the next area you can go to is Land of Sky. At Land of Sky, there's 2 parts you want to farm. You could stay at the Baratie till 110 if you want to, so you don't have to do the first part of this. But at 105, you can go up to the Skyline. It's kind of weird to get up there. You have to have a boat, and your boat has to be a max speed while there's a whirlpool up. From there, just angle yourself towards the thing away from the rock. So you'll see in the footage. You go on max speed, and you'll land up at the top of the Sky Island. When you get there, just again set your spawn, you'll be set there. You go all the way up to this route that I'm showing you on screen to get to the castle. In the castle, there is going to be a boss. Again, you can set your spawn right before the castle too in case you die. But yeah, there's a guy outside. Get his quest. Don't worry about the guy up on the stairs. His quest is irrelevant. Just take on the boss. You hit the boss. The reason you're hitting the boss is because the mobs at the bottom all aggro to you because you've hit the boss. You don't have to fight the boss at all. Just run out of there. Don't get killed. I'm pretty sure you don't get killed. It might be fine if you get killed or not. I don't know. But once you aggro the boss, just get all the way down. Then hide behind the wall in front of the castle, and the mobs will continuously aggro to you no matter what. So you don't have to sit there and hit them. As soon as they spawn, you can do the mission. The mission is quite slow because I think you need to kill them twice, basically. But yeah, quite easy farm. Pretty good area if you don't want to sit there at the Baratie till 106 or 160, which I understand. From the Land of the Sky Skype here, whatever you want to call it. Again, you can get a hockey here if you want. You'll see it later in the guide. You go to Gravito Fort from 160 to 190. Gravito Fort, you just kind of aggro the mobs. You can hide behind the wall where the mission's at, or you can stay on top of a chandelier, because by now you should have a Geppo by now. No matter what you are, you'll have enough money to buy it. Go later in the guide. Directly from Gravito Fort, you can just straight go to the island that has Geppo. So if you don't have Geppo, you can get it from here. And you just either want to hop on the chandelier that's on the thing and just hit them with a gun, or alternatively, just hide behind the wall. I think the chandelier is a lot easier because you can get all the ones you need and then kill them with a group of friends. But yeah, this is the main quest you're going to take on for 30 levels, basically. Quite easy. From Gravito Fort, the next place you have to go to from 190 to 325 is Fishman Cave. Fishman Cave, you have to go through a small little maze. I'm gonna try to cut it up properly because I messed up when I was recording it. But you can see in the footage how to get down there and how to do the entire maze. It's kind of annoying. If you're having a hard time figuring out how the maze is working for my video, you can just look up another video on how to do the maze properly. But yeah, you should be fine with just the guide that I'm showing you, as long as I did it properly. Once you get inside the cave, there's a quest on the left after you set your spawn to level up from 190 to 325. It's a very long grind, but it's quite fast because they give you quite a lot of XP. But yeah, from here, you stay here until 325, and as soon as you get 325, this is when you have access to be able to hit the second sea. You're gonna have to go to Marine Fort. And once you get there, there are two things you need to do. And obviously set your spawn probably because you might die during this thing. But you need to get the world scroll. It's gonna be a monkey that you're gonna need to talk to later. That's gonna ask you for a scroll. So you can just get this out of the way right now while you're ahead. So at Marine Fort, there's gonna be a small little segment of me attempting to get it. Try to follow it as much as possible. It might be a little difficult. If you're in a private server, you can turn off PvP pads or turn on PvP pads, so no mobs can spawn. Kraken CB. From here, you just kind of want to get the world scroll, try to angle yourself properly. Once you get the world scroll, you can head back. And so once you head back to Marine Fort, there's going to be a guy off the side of the island that will direct you exactly to Reverse Mountain. I'm pretty sure he directs you to Reverse Mountain. If for some reason he doesn't, just kind of follow the video. But he should direct you to Reverse Mountain. From Reverse Mountain, you can go to the second sea. So you spawn there. You're gonna have to talk to that monkey. He'll open the gate, and through there you just take your boat through there or Geppo through there, whichever you want. And you should be heading to the second sea. Now the second sea is quite barren, because Alabasta is quite barren of quests that are like efficient to get XP. So you're gonna have to head directly to Thurlow Bark. Look at the video to attempt to get there. But yeah, from here you just kind of head to Thurlow Bark. You take on a zombie quest, and that zombie quest is basically what you need to do from 325 to 500. I think from here you can just start like messing around, do whatever you want really, because at this point you're basically free. You can do whatever you want. So yeah, but if you just want to directly get to 500, just go from Thriller Bark to here. You could do Kraken stacking, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, this is the most efficient for a new player. If you have some friends, you probably won't be here instantly from exactly what I'm telling you. But again, if you really want to get to max level, go ahead. Again, at 325, I do encourage you attempt to get a fruit or do stuff other than leveling, because I feel by this point you have enough skill points to do whatever you need to do. But yeah, if you just want to level, this is the direct path. Just kind of farm these zombies. You get up on the little ledge up the gate, and you just kind of aggro all of them. So that concludes the leveling routes. The next section is Haki and tips to get in certain Hakis. There are 2 types of Hakis, and each Haki can be upgraded to a version 2 of it. So I'll go over how to get the initial Haki to begin with, and then how to upgrade the Haki, which all require the second C. So if you're not in the second C, don't worry about the second versions of each Haki. Just worry about the first ones. So the first type of Haki is Armament Haki. It's right off of Sandora to get here. It's not hard to get here. Just go behind Sandora and you should be getting there. There should be, again, footage in front of you to show you exactly where it is. Its cost is 25k Pelly, and you need to be level 80 to attempt to even start the quest. So I would encourage you to get the quest, and you should probably have some friends. You can take it on like any other like XP farm grind thing. So just get on the cliff, and you should be able to aggro all them with a gun. They shoot fireballs or snowballs at you, so be wary of that. But yeah, after you're done killing, I think it's 100 Yetis you gotta kill, or 80 Yetis. You get Haki, Armament Haki. This boosts your attack for basically everything. I'm pretty sure. Well, any physical thing, so swords or your fists or your kicks, I guess. But yeah, quite honestly tedious to get, but quite. Not the hardest as it was before, but it's hard. The next Haki you get is Observation Haki. It costs 50k Pelly, and you need to be level 165 to start the quest. Wouldn't recommend it till you get to Fishman Cave, however, because there's a way to kind of cheese the quest. You need 200 perfect blocks to complete the quest. So using a boss, in Fishman Cave that spawns sharks. It's a Reeves boss. He's at the end of the island. You can just sit there and farm perfect blocks. It is quite easy once you get the hang of this. But again, you just sit there and block over and over and over, and you should be getting it done within like about 30 minutes or so. So yeah, I would encourage you just to wait when you get it, because you can't hold more than one quest at a time. So when you get to Fishman Cave, come back to this. Say you're spawning at Fishman Cave, go get the quest, knock yourself off the island, and then just get sent back to Fishman Cave so you can farm the Observation Haki. Again, you can do this one at any time. It's not insane or anything, but you can't just dodge attacks. It's pretty bad early on. Again, later on, V2's pretty decent, but not insane either. Now, moving on to Armament Haki V2. Armament Haki V2, you need 25k Pelly, and you need to have the Book of Spirits, which is a boss drop from sea beasts. They're just randomly spawning in rough seas. If you have a ship on there, you can get some friends, look up some footage of how to do this more properly. But yeah, it's just a random drop. You're just gonna have to kill enough sea serpents or krakens to be able to get the book. But once you do have the book, you can just follow the path on screen to get to this little shrine. In the shrine, there is a essence. You need to read the book that you are given to get be able to pick up the essence. Once you have the essence, you can head off to the island. I think you might need to read another book, but I'm pretty sure that's it. No, yeah, I'm right. No, that's it. You just need to read that book. You'll get the essence. From the essence, you just follow the path to get straight to the island. It's directly off of Alabasta, and from there you'll have a mini game you have to do with this guy. The mini game is very annoying, so don't worry about doing it like legitimately. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. There's a way to cheese it. So once you have so the mini game requires you to line up a line for I think 30 times or something like that. But yeah. So what you can do to cheese it is that you can hold the minimize key, or not the minimize key. You can hold the increase window size key, and it pauses the game. So within pausing the game, you can sit there and just spam the spacebar over and over, and you'll get the minigame complete. Just spam it as much as you can until you get it done. Again, when both of the bars and lines are on top of each other, just spam away at the spacebar, and you should get the hockey. It's quite easy if you do this. Otherwise, it's kind of obnoxious because the timing is super strange. But yeah, quite easy to get if you use the cheese. I didn't use the cheese initially because I didn't know about it. So just spreading out to you as a new player. Now, if it's still in the game, it might be patched, but I'm pretty sure it's still in the game. Moving on to Armament Haki V2. You need 25 key pelli for each attempt of this. So if you fail, you're going to need 25 key pelli every time. This minigame is basically Osu. I haven't even completed it yet because it's super obnoxious. If you're good at Osu, have a good time, man, because it's going to be quite easy for you. If you're not good at Osu, good luck. Again, I haven't unlocked it either, so you're going to have to do a bunch of attempts. There's guides out there to make it a little bit easier. But other than that, good luck, because it's going to be quite an annoying thing. Plus, you need a lot of pelli for it. Now, moving on to fighting styles, I'll go over the generic fighting styles first, then I'll go over to the race-specific fighting styles. The first two fighting styles that I'll go over are the fighting styles that I would encourage you to pick up, which is Windsor style and Blackleg for farming easily if you're a non-fruit user. So if you don't have a fruit, I would get these two. The first 2 points will be over Blackleg in its upgradable form, and the second and third will be, or third and fourth, my fault, will be Windsor style and its upgraded form Tuso style. So again, pick one of the two. I would encourage you to get Blackleg because it has a very easy farm move. I'll go over it in a second. Tuso style, Windsor style has the same thing, but it doesn't have access to Geppo instantly, so you'll need to wait and farm for it later. And Geppo is really good, so but you can still make do without it. It just does get slightly annoying not to have Geppo early on. So going over Blackleg, it takes 9k pelli to learn. Takes about 30 SP and 4,850 pelli to get the party table course kick, which is the main farming move that you'll probably use for them early on in the game. If you don't have a fruit, you can use the gun to attract them, then just party table force kick, and of course it has skywalk, so it can't Geppo, so it's like an easy mobility tool early on. It's pretty good for you if you don't have that. And it scales off of strength, so you'll have to invest early on around 30 SP into it, and then start investing into its power. So again, I would save your SP's skill points until you can get enough to do this. That's what I did usually. But yeah. Also takes around 55 SP and 3,150 pelli to unlock all the moves. Again, the cost will differ on each move at the beginning of the thing. Moving on to its upgraded form, Demon Step / Diable Jambe. You need Black Leg first to get it to begin with. You can also get Geppo from this island. So this is basically the Geppo island. You'll get a Geppo from here. Talk to this guy with the green hair, and he'll give you. He'll charge you 50k Pelly, and you'll be able to Geppo regardless of the fighting style. Again, I'd encourage you to get here ASAP. You can use the little path that I show on screen to get here. It's quite easy. As soon as you get to Gravito Fort, you should know. It takes 125 mastery and 50,000 Pelly, plus a scorched heart, which you get by needing to take 2k burn damage to get the item automatically in your inventory. You can get the scorched heart from taking damage from a Mara boss in the Marine base G1. Hide behind a wall and let him just hit you with fire attacks to get you burnt. You don't have to get directly hit by the attacks, just get burnt from the attacks. And then just sit there for a while. If you have a Logia, it's going to take you a while, but if you don't, you should be completely fine. It should take no less than 30 minutes. Pretty simple to the scorch heart. And from there, you can just exchange it and you can get all the moves and the fighting style. So, yeah. It scales off of strength, but does take a little bit off of black legs. So it does slightly increase the damage if you invest in the black leg, but I'd encourage you just to do strength because you get more off of it. It takes 150 mastery and 28,750 Pelly to unlock all the moves. Oh, and for one sword style, you do require a katana. Again, the footage will show you how to get your first katana. He's going to buy it off of the table, and you should be able to learn from him. Moving on to one sword style. One sword style requires 10k Pelly to learn. It only takes 15 mastery to get the farming move, unlike Black Leg, and unlike Black Leg as well. You can sit there and just invest onto sword if that's all you need to, because sword is where it gets all its primary damage plus unlocking all of its moves. So it's you acquire less stats to get the farming move plus the damage that you need. With this, it does have two good moves to start with. 36 caliber Phoenix is a good move. It's a projectile basically. It doesn't go that far, but it is pretty good in case you need to finish some mobs off. So it's a pretty good farming move as well. But the main one is rapid slashes. You kind of did what you do with party table course kick, where you jump off the ledge and you just like hold it to get all of its damage. But yeah, again, it scales off a sword, so it's a lot more less point intensive. You unlock all the moves at 125 mastery and 24,970 Pelly. Two-sword style requires 50k Pelly and of course one-sword style to learn. You have to be doing unlike every other one where you just talk to the guide over and over to attempt to get the moves, you have to do a series of trials to unlock each moves. Because you have the ability to Geppo now, the trials are kind of a joke. So you can just cheese it by going onto the roof, doing it properly. If you have a fruit, it makes it a lot easier as well. Again, you could just Geppo up onto the roof and you should have a good time. It wasn't nearly as hard as it was before. But yeah, you can just kind of do it quite easily. Obviously, it scales off of sword mastery. It takes 125 mastery plus 50k Pelly to unlock all the moves. Moving on to Rokushiki. Rokushiki takes 10k Pelly to learn. I would highly discourage you from getting it unless you really want to Soro Dash and Geppo really early on. Because honestly, you can't really farm with the fighting style. There's not really a farming move that it has. Its main draw is from PvP because of the Soro Dash, but since everything can Geppo now, and earlier you couldn't Geppo with one-sword style, so it was really either between this or Black Leg. But now since you can, it's really kind of power crept, and you really don't want to invest more than 20 to 25 points into it. So yeah, but I would discourage you from getting it. But again, if you need to figure out how to get here in case you have a fruit and you just want to get a Soro Dash in case your fruit doesn't have a TP dash of some kind, here's how you get it. Takes 95 XP and takes 15,500 Pelly to get all of its moves. Again, I wouldn't waste all that on the alt because the alt is 95, so I would just only use 20 to 25 points on it. But again, I wouldn't even encourage you getting it nowadays. But again, if you have a fruit, knock yourself out with it. Now moving on to the race exclusive fighting styles. Fishman Karate takes 30k Pelly and requires you to have 75 shark teeth in your inventory. shark teeth drop from sharks. You can aggro them from the ocean, or alternatively, in a much easier way, the boss Ryu that's in Fishman Cave summons sharks. You can just kill the sharks until you have 75 shark teeth, and you can unlock the fighting style. It takes 125 SP and 24,000 Pele to unlock all the moves. The next fighting style is Electro. This is probably the worst fighting style, I guess, plus Geppo is a lot better, but it requires 15k Pele and 25 carrots that drop from the enemies of Zo. So you have to kill a couple of the NPCs around the area. I would discourage you from getting this because it's really bad fighting style. You can, I guess, technically farm levels with it if you really want to in your mink. It requires 14,999 Pele and 95 mastery to get all its moves. Again, I would highly discourage you not get it. But it is a fighting style you can choose from if you're a mink specifically. But yeah, this basically concludes the guide. If there's any questions you need, you can leave them in the comments below. And you can also consult the wiki in case there's any information you specifically want to look at. Again, I'll leave all those links in the description below. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this guide served you well. Good luck, every free-to-play newbie.